Hey guys, I'm an ex-server of Houston's restaurant. I live here in Houston, and I was a server for 10 years at Houston's Kirby. And a year ago, I was fired. I believe I was harshly reprimanded for an incident, and I believe I was discriminated against. I know I was discriminated against. And a year ago, I recorded literally everything, like how the day of I got fired, how I got fired. I have some photos inside the video that I literally recorded so much stuff and have so much proof about everything. I recorded it and I didn't put it out at that time is because I got a little overwhelmed. I was already depressed. I was worried about how I'm gonna get money, how I'm a mama for, how I was gonna support my children, and I felt like I was putting so much energy on that hatred and that depression that I had. I was like, I gotta stop. And then two, I had reached out to a prominent, African American community activist, one of the ones who I knew I should go reach out to, who was like gonna help and things of that nature. But when he told me that he needed $1,500 up front, just to start, the case, I got discouraged. It was like, I don't have money for school clothes, and I don't have I just lost my job and I don't have $1,500 to give you right now. Like, I thought you were here to help the community and stuff or whatever, and now I'm coming to you, so I guess that was about the money situation. So I definitely got, was like, I backed off of it, but I still got them all. I got every last one of them. So I edited as much as I possibly could, and made it kind of work, and I bleeped out names and things like that, so that nobody specifically would be put out on Front Street, anything like that. They know who they are, they know what they did, they know how everything went down. And what I do know is that God don't like ugly, he don't like ugly, he don't like ugly. And at the end of the day, if the truth don't come out now, it would eventually come out. And right now, I feel like Houston did what they did to their employees a year ago, and none of us had a voice at that time. But Mr. J. Morrison has gave a voice to, the customers of the restaurant, and he's allowed them to be an open platform for all of the dirt to come out. And I'm dishing it because at the end of the day, I gave that company great years, great service. I built great relationships with customers and employees there. I'm best friends with a few of the people there and still talk to some of the customers as well. But the way that they did me, but don't worry, I ain't gonna do too much talking. I'm gonna get right into the videos and let you guys decide for yourself, and so that you would know exactly where my standpoint come from. And there's also another gentleman in it who, is telling kind of his story as well. And I'm doing this so that I can be the voice for people who were fired from Hillstone, fired from Houston's, and they don't have a voice. And they didn't even realize they had a voice. Now, some of them signed a severance. What Houston's, little good luck thing that they do so that they can kind of prevent stuff like this is have employees sign severances, to basically pay them off so that they don't come back and sue them or say something happened from being fired. And they offered me $1,500 and then came back with $2,000, and I said no, because after all the time that I've given you guys, you fired me over such a frivolous situation. Yet I have, my Caucasian employees who does worse things than what I did, and me getting my first complaint like that. I wasn't taking no $1,500, $2,000. Who are you talking to? No. So enough of my chitter chatter. I'm gonna get into the videos for you guys.
So an hour ago, I lost my job. I have been an employee at Houston's restaurant for like 10 years. November 5th, 2005, actually. And my last day is today. Officially. They suspended me Monday, 2 days ago. But now they fired me for a guest complaint. A guest complaint that said she was paying attention to another table, which was a rapper, which was a black rapper, and that I didn't refill her iced tea, and that she had a stale brownie. And they suspended me, and then they fired me. But the firing came after 2 days when I realized that they were taking their time, which was my manager, little short white dude, and that he was taking his time not trying to expedite this process to get me back to work. Like, why are you not trying to make sure you take care of this fast enough so that we can resolve this issue? And so I decided to write in a discrimination grievance, because I have my coworkers who are Caucasian, who for 3 write-ups do not get, for 3 complaints do not get written up. Yelp reviews at that, horrible Yelp reviews, in which I'm going to add a snapshot in. Of how she intentionally, blatantly disrespected a guest. And yet I was at another guest table, few minutes too long, understood, but you fire me for that bush? I'm tripping. Like, you literally just stopped my money, but you didn't do it because of the guest complaint. You did it because you trying to clear the house of the black people. Really? But for one that's been there 10 years, like, getting it for y'all, when you need a shift picked up, when you need something done, when a manager can't do something, I do it for you. But you fired me though. But yet, while we're having the meeting and you're terminating me, the girl who just had a guest complaint like a month ago, who didn't even get written up for, who was horrible in providing service for someone, intentionally disrespected someone, you don't, let alone fire her. You don't even suspend her or write her up. That completely tells me that y'all are firing the black people. I have another situation where there is a Caucasian guy, new guy, who calls no call, no show. 2, does a double, and does 2 no call, no shows in 1 day. Doesn't get suspended, written up, terminated at all. Still has his job. Another guy who's been there for about 4 years, black guy, gets fired after missing 1 shift. His first shift he's ever missed in his entire time working for this restaurant. There was no slap on the wrist. There was no forgiveness. But yet the new dude, who's a white dude, like, literally got forgiveness because of his privileges. No privileges of being dedicated to the restaurant or any of that. Another dude, black dude, gets suspended for a lie that the management found out was a lie. They found out, like, the managers and the rest of the managers knew it was a lie, and they suspended him, and then they fired him. The track record right now with this new management, who's a representation of Hillstone Restaurant Group, who's a representation of Houston's Kirby Restaurant, is racist. Or he's been hired to get rid of the black folks, because it's a lot of us up in there, but we end up doing our jobs. But yet you got our counterpart who's not even reprimanded for nothing. So you're gonna keep harshly reprimanding us for what? Like, I swear to God. And I'm gonna include a letter too of me just celebrating my 10-year anniversary at the place where the owner literally writes me a letter telling me how thankful he is that I'm a part of this restaurant, that I'm dedicated, and how hard I work, how it's been noticed, and that my work ethic is, like, graceful. And how I make this job seem easy because of how hard I work. And I just come in here and do my job. I come here and make sure your guests are taken care of. I come here and make sure that we good. But yet you trying to clean house though. And you fired me today. I don't even know what my next step is. I'm still in a little disbelief. I have no clue what I'm about to do next. I have no clue of my money that I was supposed to be getting to get my kids school supplies, where I'm going to get that money from. Because now you just cut my check in half, which is not going to be enough to make sure that my 4 boys have the school supplies and everything it is that they need. I'm tripping. So I'm tripping. I don't even know, like, for real though, how to feel. But what I can't believe though is that this is happening to me. Like, do we really live in the times where my color matters? Not who I am, what I do, what I provide. Because I know I got to provide for my kids. But yet, they don't give a rat's nothing about who I've been to them. Like this, I don't even know like how to feel. Like, I see all of the stuff on TV, but when it actually happens to you, you like, what? We gotta eat. Like, we gotta eat. And because now you've decided that my color was a factor and not my dedication or the loyalty to your company was not a factor. I haven't threw in the last part of that. Sitting at the table as they show me a paper telling me that first tells me, it's like, well, the first thing is that you know, you're gonna find a job tomorrow, and that if you ever need a reference, you know, just have them that call and ask for me. The F out of here. I cuss like a seller, but I'm trying not to be that person right now, because I already know what's about to go down. But the killer part to this is he pulls out a paper and he says, you know, well, we really want to help you out. We know you still have things to take care of, and we want to give you 2 weeks pay of $1,500. And we really don't even have to offer you this. We just want to do this to help you out. And they put a paper in front of me that says severance agreement. I didn't even know what a severance was, because for one, I've never been fired from a job. For two, who knows what that is? I've never even thought that this was something I needed to know about. I thought that was something that people get when they retire. But anyway, he puts the paper in front of me and says, you know, that we're really just trying to help you out, and you know, we really don't even have to do this. You know, it's just something that we want to do to take care of you. Of $1,500. What the fuck am I gonna do with $1,500 after what, 27% come out that bitch? What I'm gonna do with that? Because that's probably gonna cover only the school supplies that I need and the school clothes and shoes that I need for my boys. And I said, oh, really? And the guy was like, well, yeah, we really didn't even have to do this. It's just, you know, because he's just trying to be, his arrogant demeanor at the table, just like, sit your down somewhere, my homie. For real, though. So he was like, well, you get 3 days to think about it. Thanks, I'm going to take that 3 days to think about it. This is a trip. So it's the morning after. I know it's dark and you guys can't see me, but I slept horribly. Like, literally, I just dreamt of all day of being fired. I have no clue right now. Like, my mind won't stop racing 100,000 miles an hour. It really hit me last night that I don't have a job. And no clue what I'm going to do right now. I did file unemployment last night. I was told that I needed to do that immediately. So now I'm just waiting to see if that's going to go through. It's not going to be enough, but it's a start. I need to start looking for some places today. I just have so much to do, seeing that, like, literally, I got to still do some stuff for them for school. We got doctor's appointments. We got school shop. Oh, my God. But last night, I realized, like, my children, like, all of them went to bed and safe and sound and healthy and blessed. And even though I have no clue what's to come next month, I know right now we got a roof over our head. I made some spaghetti and we just sat at the table. I'm not going to tell them what's going on, at least not now, because I don't want them to have to worry. I got some sweet boys. They crazy, but they sweet. I'm not going to tell them anything just yet. I'm just going to kind of like wait it out and go from there. But I don't really know. I'm still tripping that this is a black and white issue, not a I did something so bad to get fired issue. Why you got other employees there who has multiple, if not worse, cases, and they still have a job, but they're not like me as far as the color of their skin. And I never thought that this would be me in this situation right now. I never thought that this is what Houston's restaurant represented. I never thought that I would ever be a part of discrimination, not like blatantly like that. You know, I don't see that in my day-to-day life. I don't see that I have so many different color friends who I adore and love, and who loves and adore me, that it's never about their color, and my livelihood shouldn't be jeopardized based off of that as well. I don't know. So I just got off the phone with he is the severance guy who was one of the people that I mentioned in the severance letter, or the counter offer that I made for the severance that they offered me. And he just gave me a call. We were on the phone for about 10 minutes, and long story short, he was like, he did not believe that I was discriminated against. How did I know that the other employees who I mentioned in the discrimination letter from that Wednesday that were not reprimanded? And I was like, from their mouth. And then also too, when I got fired, the girl who just had a really bad intentional Yelp review was working right at the bar when I was sitting at the table right next to the bar. She still works there. I'm fired for a very small, first-time frivolous guest complaint, not to take away from it. But what do you mean? You harshly reprimanded me without due process, without even giving me the opportunity to correct or a warning or just a write-up. And you fired me. You fired me, but after the letter came in, within 2-3 hours, you fired me of me mentioning. And then that's what he asked. Well, if you felt like, you know, that there was some discrimination going on when you saw all of these other employees fired, why didn't you say anything? I said, why would we say anything? Because all we're going to do is get fired because we're mentioning discrimination. So we're in corners secretly talking about there's some funny stuff going on. Everybody pay attention. And it was until it happened to me directly that I felt I needed to say so. I'm sorry, I'm not going to back down on this. So we kind of argued, and he was like, well, I guess we agreed to disagree, that, you know, you feel very strongly in your points and I feel very strongly. You know, he was like, I just don't, I know that with the company I've been with for 25 years that, you know, that we don't discriminate and that things like this don't happen. And as I told him, you didn't work in that location. You didn't work where I work. You're not even a server, as he explained that he was a server when he first started, though. You don't have no clue what was going on in the restaurant. You can assume what you think happened, but you wasn't there. So of course he was quiet. And also, you're not my skin color. You wouldn't have any clue what I was talking about, because you would be the one doing it unto me. You have no clue what I'm talking about, how I'm feeling, what I'm going through, what discrimination is, because you're the privileged. Unfortunately, and I told him, I was like, that's not to say that you would be a part of that doing it to me. I'm just saying that you have no clue what it is that I'm going through. So we agreed to disagree. He was just like, I just don't think that based off the information that we found, that your $32,000 is valid. We've never paid anyone anything like that. And I'm like, that's fine, but I'm sorry. I feel that it was a wrongful termination. I feel that you guys harshly reprimanded me when there were some other alternatives that you could have done, that you've done with my Caucasian servers. You've done it before. I have the Yelp review right here. And she still has her job. I do not. And he tried to say, well, your situation was different. How? Hers was intentional. Mine was not intentional. I was still attending to a guest, not disrespecting a guest. What are you talking about? So, but he said, well, I'm going to go back to operations and talk to them about, what do they think, and I calmed down. I wasn't really going off. I'm just kind of talking a little abruptly right now, but I wasn't going off. I made sure that I held my calmness and hold my own, where it was like, I'm not backing down though. And I was like, I just really appreciate you for going back to operations and speaking on my behalf, that I want to be paid for my services. I would like to be compensated for my time. I would like to be compensated for you guys honoring me for the 10 years, or if you want to take away this situation, the 9 years that I have been with the company. And even the owner stated of how proud he was that I was part of your company. And one out of all of those made me lose my job. I don't get it. Yeah, it's some discrimination going on. Yeah, you guys are racist. And may not be per se Hillstone or Houston's themselves, but your manager, your GM, is a representation of your company, which means you guys have held accountable along with him. I've never, so I thanked him for getting back with me and talking on my behalf to operations to figure out. So we'll find out, he's going to give me a call back tomorrow, and we'll find out what their decision is going to be. Because I don't want a counter offer of $1,500. I want the counter offer of $32,000, what I asked for. I'm sorry. I need to make sure that me and mine are good, because you don't care. And what my thing is that if you guys are trying to, you guys harshly reprimanded me for this situation and holding me accountable for doing my job, which my job, and again, not taking away from nothing from that guest, is me attending to a guest, because your guidelines states that read your guests and you accommodate based off their needs. And this guest and I, just like a lot of my guests who I stand at the tables with and talk for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the same way that other servers talk to their special guests, their valued guests, for 10 minutes, the same way managers talk to their valued guests for 10 minutes at the table. That we focus on team service. So if we focus on team service, where was the team when I was attending to another guest? Where was the management? The one that signed my paperwork said that he was the one that witnessed the situation. Where was he when attending to the guest while I was attending to another? That means nobody else was circulating the floor, because their argument was, when I was getting terminated, was that you gave poor service to the floor. You gave poor service to the floor because you didn't run food. You didn't attend to the other guests. You wasn't bussing tables. You wasn't helping with Hobart. You wasn't doing the things that the floor needed. I was attending to a guest. As a server, we attend to guests. Now, I may not have given the other guest attention that she felt like she needed for his iced tea or her stale brownie, because I was talking to a rapper. You fired me. No, I don't get that. It was team service. No one else provided service to this lady. So I just got off the phone with the severance guy at Hillstone/Houston's restaurant. I had to send him a letter because yesterday, when he was supposed to give me a call back after talking to operations, in which he said on Monday, he never called back. So I went ahead and just sent the letter to just, you know, find out whether they accepted the offer, when it's a counter offer, or whatever they wanted to do. And so that I knew how to go ahead and proceed with this situation. So I sent them an email this morning, just saying, you know, hey, I didn't get a call from you yesterday. You know, thank you again for speaking on my behalf to operations, but I just wanted to know, you know, how I needed to proceed with this situation based off of you guys' decision, just so that I'm not lingering around. Would you give me a call back within 24 hours? So I sent him an email, and I also sent him a text message so that I can make sure that he received it. And so he just gave me a call back, and he reiterated that he did not believe that I was discriminated against, and that he know that there's no way of me changing my mind or feeling how I feel. But as I explained to him, you were not there, and you can't say what actually happened because you don't know. You can assume based off of what you think you know, but you wasn't there, and you would have no idea what the situation really involves, since that you're not black or not a minority. You're not gonna have to deal with this, so you wouldn't even know what you was looking at unless you was the one doing it to me. But so he was like, you know, we just not gonna come to that, you know. However, they have not paid anyone out like that before, and basically he did say those words, but they not about to start now. And as I told him, I believe that I have been dedicated and loyal to this company. You know, when they needed shifts picked up, whatever they needed extra, I was there. Whatever they needed. I got all of the text messages from managers from the past couple years when I got this new phone. Of saying, you know, you need some help, or you just asking me, and I'm accommodating. You know, a couple months ago, of, you know, the owner sent me a letter of how thankful he was that I was part of the company, and that he knew that I worked hard, that I was giving my guests the experience that was memorable. And for me to get fired and not have the opportunity to either correct the situation or to be warned about the situation, but you suspend me and terminate me, and the termination comes after a letter that I sent you because I felt like I was being discriminated against, that was not acceptable. And that's not something I'm sorry. I am, and all of my friends and family knows me, I speak up when no one else wants to speak up. I say the things that nobody else wants to say. And especially when it comes to me, my money, my children, you're not gonna just do me any kind of way. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna sit down on that. And right now, it ain't even about the money at this point, because what he ended up saying was that, you know, well, I don't have the authorization to do this, but, you know, if I went back with them and told them that you would accept $2,000, you know, would you take it? So you just went from $1,500 to $2,000. If that was really not a problem or an issue, why would you even offer me that $2,000? Because you know that something was not right here. Even if you don't 100% know, you just know that if you don't know, you're thinking, let us keep this girl shut up and quiet. I don't not know. Because at this point, it ain't even about the money. If I don't get anything, I just need the world to know that you guys are foul. And Houston's Restaurant do not deserve our business, my business. And you also don't treat your employees like that. If we're loyal to you, where is your loyalty to your employees? I'm a business owner, so I know how you treat people. I know how you treat people. This is not it. Especially someone, and then like the other guy, you know, you guys, I couldn't mention him, of course, you know, but the other guy, 25 years, and you guys fired him on a lie and offered him $500. What? I know from all of the years that I've worked there, I've never experienced this. Again, this only started happening under new management. I've never experienced anything like this. So the guy, you know, and I appreciated him. He was probably the most empathetic person that I've talked to in this situation, as far as corporate wise, because was on their own little thing at that time of terminating me. But I know actually trying to help, and I really do appreciate him of, you know, really trying to go out his way. But again, he still had to hold his own because he does work for Hillstone, and you know, he believes in his heart that he doesn't work for a company like that. And I don't know who he is or what he does and what he feels or what he thinks about minorities, rather black, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. I don't know that, but I feel that he tried to accommodate me of finding out what he could do to help. But unfortunately, he's not the one to really make that decision. I'm looking at to make the decision to do the right thing and to make sure that an employee of 10 years ago, who he just said provided hard work to his company, to compensate me, because he know that this was not the process that he would expect for his managers to handle the way that they did. And also for me to feel that you have other it's the ones who I mentioned in my letter, 3 other servers who were reprimanded or not reprimanded at all, because only one girl I know got written up over a guest complaint. The other girl, nothing happened. I don't know what happened to the other 2 cases, but I know for one, that specific one that I'm including in this video, she did not get. Now, they could have went back and made a paper trail. Of course, you can't make it look good, but I know at that time she didn't get written up. And probably until I left, she didn't get written up. And then found out that the manager, GM, he got demoted. Why you get demoted, though? What's not going right? Why stuff not lining up? All of a sudden now I write this letter, you know, and all of this stuff is going on. All of a sudden it's 1,000 changes going on. Like I'm getting calls and text messages of crazy stuff that's going on there. I'm really thankful I'm not there anymore, to be honest about it, because I swear to God, I know that God has something else completely different for me that's meant for me. And it wasn't that place. That place was not in my plan. He's removing things and people out of my way that is not part of his plan for me. And Houston's was not, because I was going to keep holding on because the money has always been good, which is why I've always been so loyal, because I've made good money at that place. That place is taking care of my children and my business. And for you to just let me go over something so stupid, I'm not going to lay down on it. I'm not. So anyway, now here we go on it being Wednesday that they decided to not counter. What he did say at the end of that conversation was, because I told him I was not accepting the $2,000, you know, and this is what I told him. I forgot this part. I said, to be honest with you, now this is between me and you, but I'm gonna be honest with you. To be honest, I asked for, initially when I wrote that counter offer, I asked for $15,000, because I was like, you know what, since they're offering me 2 weeks of pay, even though I make a little bit more than what they offer, which was the $1,500 to cover 2 weeks, based off what was saying was that we wanted to give you 2 weeks of pay so you can take care of your business and take care of your family. I took that $1,500 and said, initially, before I wrote the $32,000 down, I want $15,000. I want that same $1,500 that you offered me for 10 years of my work. I said, and that's what my offer was. I said, I went up is because I think that I deserve my $32,000. Did I think I was going to get it? No. But I thought you guys would meet me in the middle, which is going to give me the amount that I wanted, which was the $15,000. I said, but today, how I feel, if you guys offered me 3 months of salary, which is going to be around about anywhere from $9,000 to $12,000, I'll take that today. And he's like, we can't do that. I stand with the $2,000 of me going back to them and telling them that you will take that, but no. And I said, well, if you should change your mind, you know, you have my number to give me a call, but that means that I need to go ahead and proceed to what we need to do, because I'm not going to accept that. And he said, I wish you luck, and you do the same. If you decide to take that $2,000, you know, you just give me a call anytime, and you know, we'll make it work or whatever. So it ended bittersweet, because I did appreciate all of his help, but I did not appreciate you not trying to meet me halfway based off, you know, what I deserve. Or no, you know, I'm not what I deserve, because I don't deserve shit of what I've earned. It is what it is. Hey, so today is Monday. I just dropped all the kids off at school. It was so awesome. I had a long weekend, a busy weekend, getting the last of the kids stuff that their dads helped out a lot, making sure that everything was taken care of. So that was cool. got my little 4-year-old off to school. It was his first day starting school. And then my other 3. So it's been a bittersweet weekend where I couldn't really do anything with the boys, but it's fine. I've had a lot to think about, from the whole firing thing. And right now, how I feel is like no one wants to be fired. That you end up, wanting to leave a job on your own terms. And when you don't leave a job on your own terms, even though I was planning on leaving, once I felt like my business got to where it needed to be, where I could actually afford to make what I was making there to be able to take care of my family and then sustain my business at the exact same time. I eventually made plans to leave, but that I didn't leave on my own terms. I feel like God was like, it's time for you to go. Because since I didn't leave on my own terms, it's hard because I'm trying to figure out my finances, and I didn't plan it, but it was an unexpected situation where I didn't save enough or make sure that I had something else lined up, whether it was my business or another job. So but I probably wasn't going to be leaving anytime soon. And so God was like, it's time for you to go. I have something else for you. It's time for you to step out and do what you said you needed to do. I filled out for unemployment, in which that was approved on Friday. So that was awesome. And now I got to figure out what else I'm going to do outside of, looking for jobs and stuff like that. Just try to figure out a way of being able to handle this. And right now I'm at ease with the situation. I'm very bothered by it because, again, I feel like this became more of a discrimination type of situation than it being off of the basis of my work ethic. And not to take away from the guests who complained, this is more about that I don't feel like I had due process that they give other servers who's not my skin color, and that's not fair. That's not right. And especially for me being there for such a long time, it's just not right. But I have accepted the situation, and I am setting myself up to be okay. Now it's just more of getting my emotions in check, getting my anger in check, because I don't want this to hunt me and bother me where I don't want to. I literally dropped the kids off, got everything I need to do, make sure I was, it looked like I'm happy mom. But I got in the house and got in my bed again. What you gonna do today? You're going to write out a plan so that you don't get stuck. I'm going to write out a plan of how I need to make sure that my business succeed within the next 90 days. I need a plan to replace the income that I've lost so that I don't have to be on half of the amount of money that I make from unemployment, that I'm getting from unemployment. And so that I don't disrupt my children's life from this situation. That just means I got to get up and do what I got to do as a mom. Forget everything else. Fuck everything else. I have a job to do, and I need to make sure that me and my children are good. So I'm probably lay here another hour, and then time to get up and do what I know I need to do.
I wanted to tell my story about an unjust situation, which led to me being fired and led to me believe that I had been discriminated against. And I wanted to put this out there. I want to put it out there for me, but I also want to put it out there for the people who could not speak up for themselves for an unjust situation, or who was scared to say something, or who needed the money so desperately that they signed a severance and they couldn't say nothing. And this is also for everybody else who, even not at this job, at any other job, to be your voice, that when something is wrong, when something is showing unequal opportunity at a place of employment, to speak up.
On yesterday was Friday, and a good friend of mine who worked at Houston's, I've been helping out for the past month, trying to find a job or find another job in addition to working at Houston's on Kirby. Because they cut his hours about 1/3, and so he calls me yesterday, and I can barely understand what he be saying half the time, but he calls me yesterday and said, you know, I got fired. And I'm thinking he's saying something like talking about me being fired, like he's saying like you got fired, and you know. And after I listened, I was like, Sam, what do you? I was like, yes, I got fired. He's like, no, I got fired today. And I'm like, what? Why? And he says, as I'm trying to understand what he's saying, he's saying inappropriate language and sexual harassment. And I was like, Sam, I don't understand what you're saying. Are you saying sexual harassment? Is that why they fired you? Like, what? Who did you sexually harass? He's like, I don't know. I didn't do it. I don't know what. So now we're here, and I am helping him fill out unemployment because get it from him. Because why?
Because I can't even believe that after 25 years of hard working and dedication, could you believe that this man fired me and offered me $500 after 525 good years of hard work and dedication? Even under bad weather, I will ignore bad weather and swim to work when nobody else show up. For 25 years, could you believe that?
I do. I do. It's another situation of an unjust company who don't give two flying about anyone who is putting in hard work at their establishment, continuously bringing in their customers. Because he's one of the prep guys getting the food ready at, what time there you get there, 6 o'clock in the morning?
6 o'clock in the morning.
I'm the face of the restaurant as a server, taking care of your guests. We're the bread and butter of your company. And this is what you do to people though? So, I gotta go. I just wanted him to just show.
One of the best.
A few of the best.
Yeah, he knew that he's leaving. Whatever they're doing, they will not reflect on him.
It had nothing to do with that. It was that don't even want black people up in there, or sent there to get black people out of there. Yeah. That's just what it is. And not just black, just minorities. How many people have left or got fired
John got fired
over the past months that he hasn't even been there a year?
We've been here since January. Less than a year, 8 months.
8 months. And I guarantee you, I don't know this 100% sure, but I guarantee you after 10 years that I've been in this company, because who's a representation of Hillstone, who you hired, he has fired more minorities than the other, one of my favorites, which was he fires more minorities in the 8 months than the 10 years I've been there.
I work with my kid.
I gotta go help him do this unemployment so that because he didn't even have enough money for his rent, and his paycheck wasn't even anything because they cut it in half before he can even come to work the rest of the weekend. I am doing this because I know and that I believe in all of my heart that God knows that I am strong enough to be able to handle whatever comes my way. And this is one of those situations that's going to make me even stronger. And for me to show my boys that when something is wrong, stand up for it. Especially when it comes to it being able to help more than just you. And I know this is going to help more than just me. It's even for my boys, for me to make sure that it's going to help them, because I'm going to make sure that, like I told them when they finally asked me about it, your mama would never get fired again because she's black. Your mama never be fired again because she don't plan on working for nobody else ever again. This has allowed me to step into my own, and for me to go full-fledged and hard into my business, in which I believe that God make everything happen for a reason, and this was my reason. It's unfortunate it's under these terms,
It's unfortunate it's from a company that I used to be proud of working for, and it's unfortunate that I'm wasting my time doing this. But for me, it's about more than just me. It's about Houston's, their wrongdoing, and for everybody else that won't say nothing.
All right, guys, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. At the end of the day, my goal here is definitely so that Houstons can change their views, change their mindset of where they get their money from. Y'all gonna eat. Y'all gonna literally eat off of whoever comes in. And if you have African Americans, in which I know that Atlanta is, I think 60%, African Americans. Houston has a pretty large base too for blacks as well. But you have customers who wanting to dine in your place. All money gonna spend the same, and money don't see colors. You shouldn't either. And also too, your employees, black, white, Hispanic, whatever they are. When people go hard for you, it's as hard, I know, as I went. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know I went hard for Houston for 10 years strong. I'm very proud of the work that I did there. I learned so much there. I gained really great friends from there, and I became a better business person. I became a great customer service person. I'm a better person because of the opportunity that I had there. And you guys diminished what I thought had meaning to of me working in a place like that, And at the end of the day, until you decide to retrain your managers, but your managers get their mindset from corporate. And if corporate, who has the mindset of they want only Caucasians walking in there to dine, in which I definitely have customers who were like they felt unwelcomed coming into that place, especially when new management came. We had a lot of guests who stopped coming there, and they felt unwelcome. You know what I'm saying? They definitely make employees like that, but I know some situations that they kind of make a lot of people, rather no matter what color they are, unwelcomed and unappreciated. They do that a lot. They try to talk to you crazy, but you're gonna have bullshit go on at any job, so you gotta take the good with the bad. But for me, my money was so good, I ain't see nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And like I said in a video, until it directly happened to me, I was like, no, hold up, wait a minute. Not to me. This who you, what? But it is what it is at this point, and I just want the world to know who these guys are, and for them to change some of their unofficial racist policies for customers and employees. If you have an employee who is mean, intentionally disrespecting a guest, they should be fired. If you have a server who is not on purpose, not serving the guests the way they need to do, you feel that they need to be fired, that's what you should do. But it should be across the board. It shouldn't be that because your skin lighter than mine that you get a pass. You don't get nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not fair. And it's blatantly not fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, that's not cool. It's not right. We're not in the 1800s no more. We're not in the 1900s no more. Like, we're in 2017 and this is still going on. And like I said, for me, I felt like I gave that place my time. Of course, I made my money. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. That I show up, I get my money, period. Y'all employ me, I'm there to do a job. I'm there to do a job. I'm not there to make friends, and I get all that. But what I'm saying is that you have to be fair across the board. You have people who know showing, but you have a black dude who knows show one time and been there working there 4 or 5 years. You fire him on the spot, but the other dude, you don't. He comes back to work. And then he do it a third time. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't even have a chance to get fired. The fool just didn't show up no more. He just didn't show up no more. So they didn't even have the chance to fire him. He just didn't show up anymore. you know? And so it's across the board. If you're going to do something to one person and it be that when this situation happens, something happened to everybody, that's what it is. But until then, it's right now, it's like you're discriminating against certain employees. That you have selective, selective policies for different people. And it's not right. So I was told that I still have an opportunity to sue, you know, but my finances is not going to allow me to hire nobody for no $100,000 to do all of that, you know. So if we have somebody that want to take this case, I'm all for it. Whatever it is that I'm able to do. If this is just for me to bring some insight to this company, that I'm not mad no more. When I say God make everything happen for a reason, it was meant for me to be out that place. I have accomplished more in 1 year, I believe. I know. I have accomplished more in 1 year by setting goals and actually applying them. I believe in nothing but the law of the universe. And just like I said, this whole situation came full circle. I didn't have a chance to even think I'll ever get these videos out. But what just said, God don't like ugly. And their dirt had to come out at some point. Whether it was for a customer or for an employee, it had to come out. And now it's time for it to come out. And again, I just want for people who still work there or work for another company or whatever, I'm not telling you go quit your job and start spilling the beans or whatever, because at the end of the day, could nobody tell me to go and do that either, because I know I got a family to take care of and a family to raise. You're not going to tell me to go quit my job and stop my money from coming in and I can't pay my mortgage. That's not what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not telling you guys to do that either. But what I am saying is that I know that a lot of people sign, you know, the severances, and I don't know if any lawyers know how to get them out of that, where the letter basically said you are not engaged in any type of lawsuits or any type of class action suits and things like that or whatever. So that was the whole point of them basically paying you off for future incidents coming up like this one. It just, for me, I wouldn't take no $1,500 or no $2,000, because I know that, first of all, it was an unjust situation. And I am not taking away anything from that lady that said that she, you know, felt that she was not being taken care of. I definitely get that. But what I was saying is that I feel that y'all harshly reprimanded me, and you didn't even try to warn me or anything like that, like you do for everybody else. And I'm just saying, if you're going to do it for them, do it for me, because I love being treated special. You know what I'm saying? But make sure that it's across the board. And I just want to make sure that people who have been in this situation, that you use your voice to bring it to light about what happened. Tell your story. Tell what happened, so that the world knows that this company here is foul. They're foul. And as of right now, I definitely support what Jay Morrison doing and all the people that he has behind him again, which is why I'm putting out this video, is that I will not be dining there again anytime soon until they change their views and change their policies against their customers, their African-American customers or minority customers, and their employees. I know it's people who's still there who's been treated like crap, because that's obviously what the mindset of corporate and how they're training their managers, and that's what their managers do. Now, don't get me wrong, I have some managers, and I'm just talking about the newcomers right now, because I remember one of the managers from when I first started, he treated everybody like crap, like you weren't special at all. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't that because of the color of my skin that, you know, you get a bad section, or I'm gonna talk to you crazy or anything like that, or, you know, I'm gonna do this or whatever. If he liked you, he liked you. If he didn't, he didn't. And even on some good days and bad days, he would still kind of flip out on you, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you mess up something with one of his guests. He was all in to helping people and helping his service become better, and he didn't matter about the skin color, you know. But he was an older gentleman, and then they started kind of coming along, you know, within the past year or past couple of years, like some of these young people, you know. But from me right now, it's some managers that I am still friends with, you know, who I like adore. And some other ones who I don't see or talk to and probably never see again, you know, and I bleep their names out in a video on purpose, but they were some really good people. Like, it's one lady, like, I love that lady, you know, and I hated when she left. But there's new people that they kind of got coming in, they kind of get these youngsters, I don't know if they're trying to pay them half the money or whatever they're trying to do. Their arrogance is a little too much. And Houston, you guys need to retrain your managers of how to treat people. We're all human here. And at the end of the day, we all got a family to go to. And I'm probably almost half some of these people ages. I ain't trying to spill how old I am, but I'm probably half of these people ages. And for them to come in and start treating people and belittling people and disrespecting people and, you know, you ain't got to really appreciate them because, like I said, we there to make some money, you know, but how you treat people does matter. And I believe wholeheartedly that you reap what you sow. In Houston, you're going to reap everything that you sowed until you guys decide to change and do right. So that's my story where I am confirming, yes, they are racist. Yes, they do discriminate. And I'm not saying for everybody that works there, all the managers that came through. I'm just saying based on the situation that I've been in, this is my personal testimony and my experience of what I've been through. Can't nobody tell me no different from what it was because of what I believe and what I seen and what I felt was mine. Y'all follow. And right now, it is what it is. So I'm in my black, representing Boycott Houston. It is what it is. All right, guys. I had something else to let you know about. The first thing is that I want to first show you this folder of all of the stuff that I have from everything about Houston. This is like the folder that I have, like all of these papers of everything that happened from the discrepancy letter, the grievance letter. I have Sam's. The guy Sam, who was also in the video, who you guys mentioned, his story, long story short, is they made up a lie of sexual harassment on him with an incident that they were aware of him and a young lady getting into it because he told her don't touch the oven and she got upset because he told her what to do. And they went back and, you know, because that had happened like a while ago, and they went back and said that, oh, she said that it was sexual harassment. So they made up a lie for him and fired that man after 25 years of service and offered him $500 for a severance. I only worked there 10 years, and they offered me $1,500 and then went up to $2,000. But they showed how much that they don't honor. They have no honor for offering that man $500 and then again making up a lie because he was one of the ones that did not allow them to push him out of the door because his bigger picture was his 3 little girls and they had already cut his paycheck, you know, by cutting his hours. So his thing was that I got to do what it is that I got to do, which is why I was trying to help him find another job too. So also, for me to show the type of scrupulous people that they have working for them, there's a open case. It's not open. I said that wrong. There's a closed case from 2009, and it says something like Petrobosky or something like that. I know I have it. Give me 1 second. All right, I found it. Okay. Let me see so you guys can kind of see it a little bit. This is a case here that 2 employees won $1.8 million from a case in 2009. It's versus Hillstone Group 2009. Long story short, 2 former Houston restaurant servers were fired after management reviewed a private password-protected invitation-only group that servers had created on MySpace called The Spectator. And long story short, it basically says here that an employee felt that she would lose her job if she didn't give them this information to get into this private group that they wasn't supposed to be into, and that they kept going inside of this group, and the employees eventually got fired, and then it came out that they had broken the law. And this is the type of people that Houston's have working for them. This is public information. I'm going to leave a link to where you can go to. So I ain't disclosing nothing that don't nobody already have access to. That I want people to know that these are the type of people who works for this company and who they go to bat for over bull. Yet people who are making them money, taking care of their customers, they shit over them. It is what it is, though. It was something else that I wanted to go over too. I think that's really it. I mentioned Sam. I mentioned that I'm going to leave this here. And I'm also going to create an Instagram that you guys can go to. It's going to be called Boycott Houston. So if that name is taken already, I'm going to leave another one down there for you to go to and get your story out. Get your story out. That's all I really can say. Get your story out. And if we're able to push this even further, more than just my video here, we're going to push this all the way the same way that they out there doing it in Atlanta. I want to get it done, get it popping out here in Houston. I also want to personally thank Ernestine Johnson and Jay Morrison for having the voice and the courage to make this a national situation and getting some people involved whose voices could be heard, like T.I., Tiny, Yandy, and Miss Deborah. Those are the ones who I've seen all over Instagram. And I just personally want to thank you guys for bringing this situation to light and being very adamant about Houston's restaurant changing their policies about us and about our dollar, that our money is good as anyone else's money. And I want to thank you for allowing me to now have the courage and now the opportunity to bring the situation to light about how they also treat their minority employees, not just their minority customers. And at the end of the day, I probably wouldn't have never put this out or never even had the opportunity to put this out. But thank you guys for being a voice. Thank you guys for your strength and giving me the strength to be able to put this out and being able to say what it is that I want to say of how this situation bothered me. And again, I'm over the situation as far as the madness and the anger that I had towards the company, but it still bothers me of what they did. And if my story can touch the employee end of it, how some of them has been treated, you know, when I was working there and I was watching this kind of like just unfold before my eyes, even before me, you just literally see minority, rather black or Hispanic, you know, the Hispanic guys were the ones in the kitchen who were, you know, being terminated over frivolous things. And then you're watching them of how they're treating other servers like there's just a select few of who, you know, don't get a slap on the wrist, who don't have any consequences to their actions. Yet when we do something, it is the world has died, you know. And I just thank you guys for allowing me to get the strength to be able to do this. And I literally spending my entire day to get this done. Like, this is part of, I believe, is my purpose, which is to bring this situation up. And now that I have the opportunity to, I want to also, you know, use this opportunity to thank you guys for being our voice and for giving us the chance of knowing that we are important and that we have a voice. And I encourage for local leaders here in Houston, local artists, community leaders, celebrities that dine here in Houston at the Houston's restaurants to don't give another dollar to them until they decide to change their ways. Now, I see they going hard in Atlanta right now, and I haven't really seen anyone really kind of comment or post about the situation. Is everybody trying to keep their hands clean or whatever the case may be? And I don't think that that's probably everybody, but I don't think that it has become a national situation. This is not an Atlanta situation. This is a Houston's restaurant situation. And from what I think I remember, there's about 48 stores. So that means we have about maybe 48 cities who should be involved in this and who should be taking a stance towards this situation. And mine is just using YouTube to be able to put that out, because I don't want to go stand alone at the restaurant with a picket sign. I don't want to do that. But I know here, you know, that I can get my message across. If it's only across to 100 people, if it's across to 1 million people, or it's across to 10 million people, that this is my way to be able to let them know. And, you know, some of you guys have millions of followers who live here in Houston, you know, who you can be a voice to. And there's so many people who saying, oh my God, I didn't even know that this story was even out. Oh my God, I didn't even know that Houston's was even like that. Oh my God, I'm going to stop dining there because it hasn't been pushed where local news stations is even talking about it. Right now, the only news station talking about are the ones in Atlanta. I don't really watch TV like that, so I don't know if it's been on CNN or anything like that. But this is a nationwide virus that's going on right now. And right now we need to disinfect them. That's just what it is. So thank you guys. And I encourage some of our Houston people to come strong and come for us and stand for us and for our money and how we spend it. That a place like that don't deserve our business. And it's unfortunate that I know that there's people there who has to work and make their money, things like that. And you do what it is that you got to do, because I'm definitely not telling you to step into something and mess up what you got going on or anything like that. But for the ones who have been affected by this situation, stand up. You know, stand up. I don't care if it's just a post on your Instagram. I don't care if it's a post on your Facebook or something like that. Just, you know, stand up. And I thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to have the strength to stand up. And I didn't feel like I had the resources. I feel like I didn't have the courage a year ago to be able to do it, and now I do. And I feel like I just feel like this weight has been lifted off of me, and I feel good with it. And I want to do more. And right now, this is my more. And I'm going to put this out as heavy and as frequent as I possibly can. But thank you guys out there in Atlanta for standing strong for us and being the voice that we needed everywhere. So I appreciate you guys. Mwah. And get it started. It's unfair, and I think that Houston should be exposed, and that Houston should change some of their policies and change some of the way that they do things with their employees and customers. And that's it. So yeah, bye.